Hello everybody, welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to be discussing mid-decade redistricting across the United States. After over a while, we've had elections, through some time. We just came off the New Jersey and Virginia governor's elections, some other elections there, as well as California and Georgia. So I just wanted to, briefly cover redistricting across the country while we're technically less than a year out from it. So I figured this would be a good time to go over that. We have 270 to Win, which is a great website to use that I really like using. It's good to help get everything taken care of. So we first have Texas, which was the first state to redistrict. You have 5 seats that they're looking to flip. You have Julie Johnson. These are all Democrats who are in pretty liberal districts, at least the first 3. She's now in a very safe Republican district. Flip number 1. You have flip number 2 with Al Green being drawn out. You have flip number 3 with Greg Kaiser being drawn out into a Trump plus 10 district. However, it'll be a leans to likely. I have that as likely flip for Republicans. You have flip number 4, which is Vicente Gonzalez. He's a pretty big overperformer. He won a Trump district in 2024, but his district got redder to a Trump plus 10 district. Now, I think the Democrats, since they're out of power, they should at least be slightly favored to win this election next year. However, I think that given the district being red enough, and even though it's still being purple down ballot, it's more of a Trump-looking district. But besides that, I think he will still end up losing narrowly. And then you have potential flip number 5 with Henry Cuellar. You have him also in a Trump plus 10 district. He does have some scandals. As long as he doesn't go to jail or prison, he should actually be able to overperform Republicans enough to win this district. It's also a Trump plus 10 district, but he should still win just because he's thought of by some Republicans as moderate and overperformed Trump by even a bigger margin in 2024. And I think that this district is more competitive down ballot. With that being said, let's move on to California. Hopefully I can get this thing to restart. It'll be interesting. So California responded with Proposition 50. The map passed, which is pretty interesting. You also have another 5 seats that the Democrats are hoping to flip in California. We'll just see in a sec. You have a few flips. We'll first start off with Doug LaMalfa and Kevin Kiley. They were both drawn into Kamala Harris plus 10 districts. They're both overperformers, especially Kevin Kiley. That's why if they run again, it'll be likely. However, you're still guaranteed flips just because of the environment, at least going to be slightly favored towards the Dems. So you have Doug LaMalfa, flip number 1, Kevin Kiley, flip number 2. And then you have in the 41st district with Ken Calvert, flip number 3. He represents the 41st district. It's now been drawn into a Democrat pack after it was a competitive to leans Republican district that Ken Calvert won. Now he has been in an office for a while. However, he should still be able to potentially stay in the House. He's running in the 40th district, which is represented by Republican Young Kim. This is now a Republican pack. I encourage you guys to continue to watch the channel and follow it because we're going to be covering this primary. It'll be very interesting. That's flip number 3. Flip number 4 is not a guarantee, but it's likely. It's a Kamala Harris plus 3 district, and you have Republican incumbent Darrell Issa. Darrell Issa is an overperformer, but not by enough to overcome Trump Harris plus 3. I think it's possible that he wins. I just don't think it is. If Republicans have a good night, I think he does win. However, given the average or at least slight favor to the Democrats following the 2025 elections, this makes flip number 4. You have potential flip number 5 with David Valadao. He's historically been a very strong overperformer. He's won like Biden plus 10 districts before. This is a very narrow Trump, like plus 1.4. I think he's going to hang on. Most people like me think he does. However, if Democrats have a really good performance, especially here in California, I can see him going down. But for now, I see him staying in office. We now jump over to Utah. This used to be originally a 4-0 map, however, for the Republicans. However, the Democrat judge was in their Supreme Court, I believe, ordered this map to be redrawn. So this is now Democrat flip based on Salt Lake City, which is a very safe Democrat district. It'll now be a 3-1 map. However, to counter that, slightly earlier before that, we had Missouri redistrict. They got rid of Emmanuel Cleaver, which was the Democrat pack in the St. Louis area, spread it out. He's now in a Trump plus 28 district. All of these other districts are all safely Republican. Given Donald Trump's strong performance in Missouri, I believe that Republicans will succeed in flipping this. They also shored up the Ann Wagner seat in the 2nd congressional district. You now move on to North Carolina. You have Democrat Don Davis. He won in 2024 over here in northeastern North Carolina. Competitive district. This is the only competitive district in North Carolina originally. It voted for Donald Trump narrowly, but it's a swing district. However, Republicans wanted to flip this district, so they redrew it now into a likely Republican district, as well made the 3rd district a little more competitive, capped 11 district, likely Republican. Don Davis could run into District 3, which is where he is. However, it's against a Republican incumbent, and that's where his new home is. Or he could run in the 1st, but I don't think it'll happen. I think he'll lose. He'll overperform Donald Trump's margins in the district, but I don't think it'll go too well just because of districts being too Republican. You also have Ohio redistricted. This was another court-ordered map. However, this was only because the court ordered the map before this, so it had to be thrown out. So they had an independent redistricting commission. Democrats and Republicans all agreed to pass this map. I'm not a huge fan of it personally. It's kind of ugly. It doesn't really solve the problem that both sides wanted. However, Democrats acknowledged that the Republicans could have drawn a more aggressive map for this map. So that's basically what that stands. You have Democrat Amelia Sykes, who was originally in a Kamala Harris plus 0.1 district, very purple district, swing district. She's a slight overperformer. She's now drawn into a Harris plus 3 district. The Republican that ran against Sykes just was going to run again. He decided to drop out because the district was too blue for him to win. That's a likely Democrat win. You have a very competitive Trump plus 3 district in Ohio's 1st district with Cincinnati. It gained some more conservative areas. This is Democrat Greg Landsman. I think he's a slight favorite to win, but it'll be very competitive. This is a redrawn district. Again, you have deep blue Cincinnati, deep red areas like Warren County, another county here, and some more conservative parts of Hamilton County, while the Cincinnati suburbs are drawn into the more conservative 8th district. You still kept the Democrat packs in the 11th and the 3rd. And you have the one probable Republican flip, probably the only flip. You still have the 15th district competitive. You have the 10th district got better if Mike Turner decides to retire since he's a good overperformer. Otherwise, this district could have gotten more competitive. Now safe Republican seat. Again, the 9th district will be interesting. You have Democrat Marcy Kaptur. She is intending to run again. She's been in office for a while, won some tough races, won a Trump district. Hard to say. I think she's going to lose just because it's a red enough district. However, it'll be very close. So, with all of redistricting as it stands now, Republicans have gained around 2 seats. It's hard to say who will win in the end because it's possible Illinois redistricts, Kansas redistricts, Maryland redistricts. I don't think it'll happen. I think these are all the states that have redistricting so far. However, we cannot forget about Virginia. You have a Republican incumbent in the 2nd district as well as the 1st district. They want to retarget. They want to pass another ballot initiative like they did in California. I made this map myself on Districtar. It's a great website to use if you want to do this. I pretty much drew this map myself. I made the 1st district very competitive, held by Rob Whitman. I made the 2nd district held by Republican Jen Kagan's safe Democrat district. hit the 3rd, the 4th, the 11th, the 8th Democrat, or short up the margins in the 10th and 7th. This would be an unfair map, but this is basically what they were looking to do in Virginia. It'll be interesting to see how the map turns out to be. This is a map that I made. The problem with that is that Democrats usually get around 53 to 46% of the vote, occasionally lose the state sometimes. You don't want to go too egregious with the map, or else it'll upset the courts, or it'll make these elections more competitive and they'll have a lot of incumbents to defend. So we'll touch more on the Virginia redistricting if it happens, but as of now, that's where it stands. So I appreciate you watching the video, and I hope that you have a good day, and like and subscribe.